What's up, everybody? Episode 105, right?
Same age as David.
106.
Same age as David.
Yeah.
106. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, you haven't put out 105 yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are.
What?
Enjoy the episode. You're finding out, as we are, what it's about. How cool is that?
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Now we got some stuff to talk about. All right. See you in 1 second. Told you.
You know what the issue is?
Huh?
Is we recorded 104, but we split it into two.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's cool.
I don't
If I thought about
I
it.
don't remember anything we've done last.
I know you don't. You tell me the same story multiple times.
Sorry.
It's okay. I mean, you're not going to get flogged after.
You were pretty awake and alert, though, last time we recorded.
I was fighting, man.
Yeah.
I was in the last quarter of the game.
Yeah.
Just moving along.
Okay.
Fighting bears.
All right. Dude, speaking of bears, I watched a video about polar bears today.
Oh, you know what?
Polar bear, dude.
Put a
What?
pin right there.
Okay.
Remember we were talking. No, you can finish your story. That's free to me. Go ahead, finish your story, and then we'll come back to what I just pinned.
I watched a video about polar
I'm
bears.
done with that now.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
And the video made me laugh really hard
Yeah.
because, like, you...
Was it in favor of the polar bears?
Well, kind of. So polar bears are
Horrible.
the world's largest land predator.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're bigger than grizzly bears.
Yeah, they're enormous.
By like 300 pounds. Like they're
they're huge. They're massive.
huge.
Like they're what? Because what? They're like 1,000 pounds. I mean,
Right,
they're
and-
bigger than a gorilla.
And they're way more dangerous than a grizzly
Yeah, they're
because grizzlies will eat fruits and stuff like that.
yeah.
Polar
Polar bears don't
Polar bear is just straight meat. And so I'm watching this video and it's talking about how like the
I'm
differences.
watching you.
What?
I scared my wife.
Um,
She's watching Kate. I just turned on the monitor and she's in the baby's room with him and she's trying to put him to sleep.
Don't let him lie to you. He's got a Ring doorbell in the front door. He's
hi.
talking to people in the street. Hey,
I'm watching you.
watching you. Yeah, polar bears are nuts.
Son.
So the video made me laugh really, really hard because it's all of these pictures of these like just cute polar bears, like being cute. They're rolling in snow. They're making snow polar bear angels and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then it says in the video, it goes, a lot of bears will do like a fake charge, right? Where they're just kind of trying to scare you, right? Like a bear, because a bear is like not really confrontational. So if a bear sees you, it'll do like a
that's
fake.
what I found too.
Yeah.
It'll do like a
In
fake.
my experience with bears.
Yes,
It'll
me
do
too.
like a fake, like a, right?
Right.
And it'll like kind of lunge at you.
I do the same thing when I go to customers' houses just to make sure that.
when you walk in the door.
And then if they're still chill, I'm like, all right. Here.
All right. So, but they said polar bears don't do that. Like
Yeah.
the fake, like, there's like a term that they use. I can't remember what the term was. He says if a polar bear sees you,
Polar bear has been notorious to say like gay to that.
if a polar bear sees you, it just wants to kill you.
Yes, they're awful. They're awful. Like I don't care if all the polar bears died.
So the video made me laugh because it's all these cute videos of polar bears.
Polar bears
and then
are
as
not
soon
cute.
as it talks about attacking, it just flips from this white polar bear to this red polar bear with just
Covered-
meat hanging out of its mouth.
Covered in
It's-
the blood of its enemies.
Dude, it's literally just eating everything. There's like multiple bodies of animal, like seals and stuff, like sea lions and stuff. He's just like,
Oh my goodness.
just, and I was like,
Yep.
just mortified.
Greenland is one of the few places you can hunt I'm sure you can do it in Russia. You can do whatever there. But you can hunt polar bear in Greenland because they have such a huge problem with them because they're just murdering villages.
Dude, I believe
Like
it.
you have to have a polar bear cage on your house in some areas to protect yourself from polar bears breaking into your house and killing you and eating you.
Aren't they like almost extinct?
I hope they are.
How are they so tough, but they can't even beat the weather?
Oh, the weather's not.
Well,
the weather's
I mean,
not what's killing them.
We're
It's
dealing with
apparently Greenlandians. They said they also said like they're these giant bears, the biggest bears.
Get
They swim.
Let's pull up some stats.
They swim faster than any Olympic swimmer.
Even me.
Yes.
I can,
Dustin. Let's play a game.
okay. What?
If you can touch your knees together, do it now. Ready, go.
I can't.
Why?
Because my legs are big.
Because your legs are big, or you got wide
that
hips?
well, I can't. We can't. Let's just keep moving here.
Here, try and touch them together. Try and touch them together.
Dude,
I mean, pretty easily. Honestly. His tips of his knees don't touch.
I can't.
What's wrong with you?
That's a girl's. Well, let's reword this. Girls wish to have that.
Yeah, this guy, bro, you got wide hips, bro.
I got wide hips.
I don't know if girls want to have wide
thick
hips,
thighs.
but
Dustin's the only guy I
My
know that's
goodness.
got like childbearing hips.
I'm a girthy hip kind of guy.
Yeah, this guy.
and also Garthy.
Yeah, man.
Garthy.
Dude, with legs like that. Never mind.
That we did that the other day. I said we were just sitting there. I was like, "Can you touch your knees together?" And he was like, "No."
Why
No.
did that come up? Why did you randomly?
I don't
Because
remember.
we were sitting at prayer. We were sitting at the at prayer. No, it was Friday night of the youth rally, and all
Yeah,
the
it was.
boys and we all staying at the church, and we were just sitting. I was sitting on the platform.
Yeah, we were just talking.
and he was sitting on the front pew, and I said, and he was sitting on the pew, and his legs like so sprawled apart, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do your legs naturally just like rest that way?" He's like,
Dude, he can't.
I was
Little
like,
do
"Can you
you
touch
know.
your knees together?"
No.
And he tried, and he's like, "No."
Little do you know, it's actually because of a gymnastics accident when he was a child. Horrible,
Yep,
horrible
on
split, and now
yep.
he just can't bring his legs
Yeah.
back together.
That's when I retired as my days as a tightrope walker.
Yeah. Speaking of which, dude, you mentioned your youth rally.
Yeah.
Tell the
Well,
people how that went.
Real quick, just so everyone knows, a male polar bear weighs about 1,300 pounds.
Lightweight. Lightweight.
1,300.
1,300.
Wow.
Lightweight.
So over a half ton.
All right, hold up. Pause that thought. Talk about lightweight polar bears. These dogs have to go out, and my
Okay.
wife's putting the baby to bed.
Lightweight polar bear. Yeah, they're huge, and like so. Not that anyone else does this, but I happen to read a lot about Greenland when I ever so choose to. I think it's a fascinating place.
It's such like a random thing
Huh?
to be.
What do you say?
This is such a random thing to be intellectually
I just
invested in.
think it's cool. Like everyone talks about Iceland because that's like where more people live, but Greenland's like this crazy, like almost vacant land, but people have been living there for like 1,000 years. It's just nuts.
Yeah, you want to know what the weirdest thing is?
It's still owned by Denmark.
The weirdest thing
yeah.
is that having all this information about Greenland
Yep.
is such a random thing, and yet when you say it, I'm not surprised at all.
I can't help it. I just find it fascinating.
Forget, like, which one's the icy one? The Greenland or the Iceland?
That is the only
Iceland.
thing I know, is that Greenland is icy and Iceland is green.
Yeah.
No one lives there.
Yep.
I just said Iceland is green.
There's parts of East Greenlandic is the most.
East? Okay, East
Listen.
Greenland.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen. No. The language. Listen.
so-
It's different. It's different.
People like don't even know where the East Coast is.
In
America. He's like, oh, East Greenland.
East Greenlandic, that the language, so that you have West Greenland and then East Greenland, and then a lot of them, like most of like the more populated areas speak like Danish because they're owned by Denmark. It's just makes more sense. But East Greenlandic is like the most complicated language in the world to learn. There are no books on how to speak it. There's no
I thought like Gaelic was like the hardest language. To,
that might be, but East.
Great Danes come from there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm serious. I'm like,
Great Danes come from Greenland.
do they?
I don't know.
I'm asking.
Well,
The Great
I'm-
Danes. You said they speak Dane.
Yeah, well, they're owned by Denmark, so I would imagine they probably come from Denmark. But so it's because you have like the Inuit people that live there, which blows my mind. It's like
such a mean thing to call them.
that's actually the correct Eskimos.
What about the Green Hill Zone?
What?
That's level 1 from Sonic the Hedgehog. God. I don't-
Like so there like look let me share and talk about. There are so many towns there that like there's like 4 Q's in the name next to each other. Like no, like there's no way to pronounce it. But it's just mind blowing to me that people have been even before like they've just been there for so long, and it's It's the Arctic Circle. They live like in They live in the Arctic.
Yeah, I mean, like you
it's
could really say
just
that about any place
crazy.
that's not America, though.
I guess, yeah.
They've just been there for so long.
I know, but listen, I meant like just given the harsh reality of the environment. You know, like, you know, we always think of like, well, you know, the jungle, like that, you know, like tribes that live there, but it's also like where it's like so far below freezing, they're still just toughing it out. And somehow, you know, thousands of years ago, they just landed there and said, we'll just call it home.
That can't be a happy life.
I don't know.
I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe there's ever been a happy Greenlandic person. I can't believe
Look,
it.
this is the most isolated place in Greenland to get to. How do you
houses.
pronounce that? Just take a guess.
Oh, Ito. Oh, stop shaking the phone. Gortirmeet. Gortirmeet.
Close enough. How do you
He's
pronounce it?
close enough. You don't even know?
No.
You asked me to read it and you don't know what the correct answer is?
I've never. Let's see. Talk. This says talk. How do I? No, that's not what I want. How do I get this to pronounce the
Itakatormik.
name of this establishment?
Itakatormik.
I want to know. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So that's East Greenlandic. Like, there's the language. How do you? Like, that's just nonsense.
It's web things.
But it's an actual language. And then West Greenlandic.
They speak
See,
web
it's like
things.
actual, like, it's more languagey.
Formerly known as Skorsbysund.
Score. Yep.
It's way easier to say than Itakort.
That's a lot more than.
All right, so hold on. I'm gonna spell this out for the listeners.
Okay.
This place is spelled ITTOQ, another Q.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
ORTOORMIIT.
That was the last thing someone said before they were eaten by a polar bear.
Dude, you know what?
And that's where the
You
name
know what
came
it
from.
looks like? The name looks like. Remember when like phones weren't smartphones and they had like
Yeah, you had to push a button. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it
looks
was.
like the button is sticking, and they just got too many letters in here.
Yeah, they were trying to text for help from the polar bears
No,
attack.
there's no place in the world that should have two Qs.
Two Qs next to each other.
Yeah.
But look, this you can only get here 3 months out of the year when the
see it?
coast isn't completely iced over.
That's enough. That already scared me.
What a wild.
So and in Greenland, they actually I'm thinking.
Are there any missionaries in Greenland? They must really love God.
Why don't you go there?
My wife would kill me. She'd be like, "You go yourself."
I'd be alone.
Iceland. This is a
Is Mackenzie a warm weathered or a cold weathered person?
She is warm weathered all the way, buddy.
She does not like the
She
cold.
does not.
No.
Iceland, you can hunt puffin, the penguins,
Oh.
and you can, and they have so many puffin there. You can hunt
Trader
50,
Joe's had I'd kill
50
all
birds a
those-
day.
I'd kill all the puffins.
Puffins.
50
Puffins
bird-
sounds like a cereal.
50.
It was the Trader
It was.
Joe's healthy organic version of
Fruit Loops, right?
Of like corn
they
pops.
they were like the chocolate ones, and then they had peanut butter
Cocoa
ones.
Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs.
This is a real thing.
Yeah,
Puffin
Mom
was a
used to
cereal.
buy them, and I hated them because they was like, "This is not good."
Your mom
Yeah.
used to buy them
Yes,
from
'Cause they-
Trader Joe's.
Yes, organic.
We have a Trader Joe's.
Where?
It was Annapolis because
Oh.
we got our teeth done, our braces done there.
Yeah.
Dad's insurance, the company he worked for when I was a kid was
Yeah.
in Maryland, and the insurance was Maryland based, whatever. So
So you had to go all the way to Annapolis to get your braces.
all the time.
Listen,
That sounds.
Yeah.
That sounds almost not worth it.
I didn't. Meredith and McKenzie did.
Oh, you were the favorite. Okay.
50.
Yeah.
That's how many you can kill in one day. That's what your bag limit is per day per hunter.
Puffins
50.
to kill puffins.
Yes.
Which is a bird. What does a puffin look like? I need
It's a
to.
penguin.
Oh, it's
It
a
look-
penguin. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ever seen? Yeah,
That's
okay.
less exciting
You've
than
seen
what I
Happy
thought.
Feet? You know the crazy
It's the
penguin
little
with
person of the penguins.
It's
The little.
When you type in puffin, the first thing that comes up is the cereal, not the penguin.
Yes. Show them that green. Yeah.
It's kind of adorable, actually.
Yeah.
What? So wait, what does the cereal look like? Is there a penguin on the Puffin cereal?
It's
There
puffin.
have to be,
It's
right?
a puffin.
Yeah.
It has to be a Puffin,
Look,
right?
so before I show you
Puffin's
this,
just
I'm
why
gonna-
we keep saying Puffin, and it's kind of
I know,
funny.
it was weird.
Oh
I
wow,
hate
it does say puffins. They have
puffins.
like different.
Let me see.
wow, look at that.
Oh, dude.
That's kind of rudimentary. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's, ugh.
I could have designed them
Puffins.
better than that.
How do they know that's a Puffin
like,
and not a penguin?
dude, that's like Crave. That's what that is. That's what that. Yep.
Although Crave looks way better than what that looks like.
Yeah, Crave is amazing. It's
Well, I've never had it.
what?
No, when it comes to cereal, I typically eat 3 different kinds, and that's pretty much
I'm
it.
saying. So the only reason I've had Crave is like in the army. Sometimes like when we're out in the field, like we'll get like box whatever, and like if they have Crave, I don't know, just it's whatever you get.
I typically only eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Fruity Pebbles.
Well, I'm not a Lucky Charms guy.
I like Lucky Charms.
I do
Oh,
like
Panda Puffs.
fruity.
Yes, I remember all these. My mom really tried, and I
Oh,
really
dude.
appreciate it.
We
Let's
used to
just
get
talk- let's just
Panda
talk about
Puffs,
cereal.
organic peanut butter. I remember those. They were
That's
the
gross.
Gorilla Munch. I remember those. Golly, I remember these.
Dude, that's like worse than generic brand cereal.
Choco Chimps. Oh gosh, Puffins. Yeah, we got all these.
You got all the
We got them all.
exotic animal cereals.
No, it was just different phases. Like, I mean, that wasn't the whole time, but I remember all these.
See,
Panda
when I was a kid, we used to
Panda
get like
Puffs?
the Dino Bites and the Marshmallow Mateys.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Yes.
Marshmallow Mateys
Yes,
was
I
Lucky
remember.
Charms.
Yeah.
Then we got the Dino Bites. That was Fruity Pebbles.
What was some of them though, like, okay, I think it's the Walmart brand of Frosted Flakes are still called Frosted Flakes. Like they're like, what do we call these? And like just keep it the same. They won't say anything.
That means there can't be a trademark on the name Frosted
must not.
Flakes.
But they look, like it's the same spelling, and it's even a tiger that's on the box.
Well, that's what made me laugh about Dino Bites is that the Flintstones are the Fruity Pebbles, right?
Yeah.
And then they come out with a generic brand Fruity Pebbles, and they're
Dino.
like Dino Bites, and there's just like a purple dinosaur, and you're like, oh, okay.
Pretty sure we know where we got this from.
It's like,
You couldn't have just called it like
was it that
fruit?
meme? That meme that used to be out where it was like, yeah, you can copy my work, but don't make it too alike because
yeah.
we don't want people to know. And then it's just like an
Same
exact
thing.
copy. That's what Dino Bites did. But yeah, no, we used to. But I liked it because really the Marshmallow Minis and the Dino Bites tasted the same, but they would come in these giant bags.
Yes.
I
The
was like-
Marshmallow Mateys. They're still that.
I'm
Oh no, it's not a tiger, it's a polar bear.
Where?
Look, so Frosted Flakes, right? It says Frosted Flakes.
I'm looking
You
at
see
it.
it? And then here is the generic version from Walmart, which is also
It is a
called
polar bear.
Frosted Flakes with a polar bear.
They have the bag version. Yeah.
They're and like on it. Okay, so growing up, there were 2 moments in my life that were pretty funny. So a certain individual in my family was one of the cheapest people in the entire world, the whole world, and they would constantly try to like be like, dude, the store bought tastes better than the whatever, you know. So like
Isn't all cereal store bought?
they were like for a brand, I guess.
I
is
know
what
what you
they-
mean.
yeah.
Good.
But anyway, like so they got chocolate the Cocoa Puffs, right? The store brand or whatever. And they're just like they're not good. I mean, obviously you could eat whatever, but it's like no, the other one like the other
Cocoa
ones
Puffs was bad.
the argument wasn't that, you know, it's all right. It's that it tastes better. No.
No.
And then
Stop.
okay,
Stop.
so one
Stop.
okay, so
Yeah.
one time
Some of them were very, very close. Like Marshmallow Mateys was close.
The Sam's Club brand.
Yeah.
You can always
Yeah.
get the big. Was it Molten Meal?
Multi-meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
I
That
think
was
so.
like almost like named like almost. I mean, they
Yeah.
always came in the big bags.
Yeah.
Cinnamon
Some
Toast
of them-
Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is from them. Is it?
You can- I mean, you can get that in the big
I think
bags.
that's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I believe is not Kellogg's. It's the other one. General
Post.
Mills.
Post.
Maybe Post. Now that we're talking about it, there's a
think
lot
it's
of there's a lot of cereal companies.
There's a lot.
I kind of only thought it was one.
What we watched that movie with the cereal was pretty funny. I don't remember what it's called.
I don't
It
know.
had whatever that guy's name is.
My dad loved Apple Jacks growing up, so we ate
Apple
that all
Jacks
the
were
time.
good. I can't really think of one I didn't enjoy. Golden Grams, I don't.
I'm fine with Golden Grams. I do not like Honey Smacks.
Yeah, no.
Those were so
No.
gross, dude. I hated those things. With the frog.
My favorite, yeah.
Yeah, I hated those things.
My
Oh, I love
favorite,
those.
my first favorite.
You love them? Honey Smacks?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's weird. My first favorite.
These were the ones from Multi-Meal.
You're the only person that
Multiple.
likes Honey Smacks.
Yeah.
Mom would get these golden puffs, and that's the honey smack version. The Lions knew. Fruity Dino Bites, but it's like in a trash bag, dude.
Yeah, dude, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bag was so
Cocoa
big.
Dino Bites.
Yep.
These are Multi-Meal. Sort of off-brand, but it was a Walmart and Sam's Club, dude. These bags, and there's gonna be the I don't know, the s'mores, scooters, not cinnamon.
Scooters.
It was cinnamon toasters,
Toasters, that's what it was.
Imagine
They
being
were-
a kid and be like, "Mom, can I have a bowl of scooters?"
dude. They
Like, it
were.
just
I
sounds
don't
like
know what
so
these
trashy.
are. I never got these. Colossal Crunch. Yes, those were good too.
Yeah.
That was the off-brand of the
Captain Crunch.
Captain
Crunch.
Crunch, but it was good.
Captain Crunch. Yeah,
That
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
was good.
Yeah, no, all of
Um,
this stuff was perfectly. I'd never, as a kid, I never.
I never got them. Yeah, this.
If I were-
$105 Multi-Meal Cocoa Dino Bites family size bag.
$105.
Yes,
How big is this bag?
It's got to be like
That is $105.
It's like a dog food bag.
No, I have to see this
What?
bag.
How?
$105
Oh,
bag.
family size bag, case of 9. Okay.
Oh, case of 9. Okay. I was like, dude, $105 bag of
That's-
cereal.
Someone
That's
walking
still a
down
lot
on
of-
their shoulder like it's dog food.
That's what like the Duggars are buying or were when they all were little. I don't even know how old the Duggars are now.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy, dude. This is a true story. When we were kids, me and my brother Zach, one time, Saturday morning, we're about to watch cartoons.
Yeah.
We go to make cereal, but I can't remember if there weren't any bowls or if we could not reach the bowls. I can't remember. We were little. My mom and dad are still asleep at this time. And so we go down to the bottom cabinet and we pull out 2 cake pans
Yeah.
and we put all of the cereal and milk into the cake pans. And my mom was so upset because we were children and there's no way we could eat an entire like cake pan worth of cereal. And I just remember, I vividly remember my mom coming out and being like, "What are you doing?" And because we literally had just put 2 boxes of cereal into cake pans and then a gallon of milk. We were just like,
The idea that
And back then, milk was, 25 cents a gallon.
yeah, per liter.
I'm just joking.
Me and my brother one time we were trying to make our own like smoothies, and we were like 8, so we had no idea what the process was. We just thought you added like water to yogurt. So we had a bunch of like the Trix yogurts. So we like emptied half of it out and then just filled it with water
so
and
gross.
mixed it up.
You were trying to make more yogurt?
No, we're trying to make smoothies. We thought that's how smoothies were made.
so gross.
And yeah,
dude.
and my mom, she beat the tar out of us because we wasted like a whole box of Trix yogurt trying to figure out how to make smoothies. We
That's
ruined them
so
all.
nasty.
We ruined every one of them.
They never put quite enough
That's so nasty.
yogurt in those Go-Gurts.
No,
Never quite enough.
One time, when I was a teenager, my
I
neighbors.
wish all yogurt was like in a tube like that.
I've
a big
never
old
never really been a yogurt guy, but
I
love yogurt.
one time when I was a teenager, our next door neighbor was like, "Hey, I got to run to work. Can you watch like my 2 sons?"
You?
Yeah. For
Mhm.
it's just like a couple hours because he had to go to work to do something and then he was coming back. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "All right, be at the house in the morning." I was like, "Okay." Go to the house, right? Like, and the kids, like I was probably 16, 17.
Mm-hmm. And the
And
kid was
he
the
had
same
2
age.
sons. No, they were like 12 or like 11 and like 9 or something like that. And I just remember like the older kid, his name was Ryan, and his little brother's name was Derek. And Ryan would go and he'd be like, "Yo, can I get a Go-Gurt?" And I was like, "Are you allowed to have a Go-Gurt?" And he was like, "Yeah, I get them all the time. My mom and dad don't care." I was like, okay. All right. I was like, if they don't care, I don't care. He ate the entire box of Go-Gurts.
How many times did he ask you in 2 hours?
He only asked me once.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't care. And he was like, okay, cool. He ate the entire like box of Go-Gurts.
Standing at the fridge.
No, like he would get it out of the fridge and then he would go and he would like play PlayStation with his brother or like watch TV or something. He's just like eating it. And then I'd be like, hey, bro, it's like lunchtime. Like, your dad said we got like sandwich stuff in the fridge. You want to make sandwiches? He's like, nah, I'm okay. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, so I asked his brother, I was like, you want a sandwich? He's like, yeah. So we made sandwiches. Me and his little brother ate sandwiches, but he did not eat a sandwich. And I was like, why isn't he eating a sandwich? And it's because he downed 12 things of Go-Gurt and he was feeling sick because he was a child who ate 12 tubes of Go-Gurt.
It's like a whole
David,
gallon of
how did
curdled
he
milk.
get 12 of them over to the PS2?
I don't understand your question.
Did he eat all 12 standing at the table? Like standing at the fridge? Or did he?
No, so he would go to the kitchen, open the fridge, get one, cut the top over, and then he would eat it. He would throw the wrapper away, and then he'd come back to like play PlayStation or whatever. And then
Wow.
like
He did
15
that 12 times?
Yeah, like 15, 20 minutes late. Because like they're taking turns playing a game. So every time he would hand the controller off to his brother and they were taking turns, he would hand the controller to his brother. He would get up, he'd walk to the kitchen, and he would open the fridge.
I love yogurt,
And
but
I'm
that's
like-
not like a go-to.
He's
Like,
a fiend.
Dude, it was wild.
He's displaying addictive behavior. Addictive,
I was like,
addictive personality traits even then.
yeah. So then like his mom comes
in-
home and then
he's
his
in a-
mom was like, did you eat all of the Go-Gurts? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, why? And he was like, because I wanted them. And she was like, this is why you feel sick. and I was like, that makes sense.
I still think it's kind of funny that you missed that.
Do what?
I think it's kind of funny that you just missed it.
All right, dude. I'm 16 years old. I'm like literally just sitting on the couch.
you think is Sarah trying to figure out his Go-Gurt
Was
habits?
it 12? Was it 12 of them?
Yeah, it was like the whole box.
How many come up? Let's look it up.
It was like the whole box, and he just kept eating them. And I was like,
This is why you don't have boys babysit.
dude, for sure.
You do not have young guys
Just let him go
babysit.
nuts.
You just don't.
I'm a 16-year-old kid. I'm like, if I liked yogurt, I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'd eat 12 of those. I don't care.
Bro, there's 16 of them in there.
All right, so maybe he was 16 then. It was,
They're all 16.
dude, he was feeling so sick.
had 16
literally- bro, because he asked me one time, and I was like, are you guys allowed to have Go-Gurts and stuff this early in the morning? He's like, yeah, my mom lets me get them all the time. And I was like, okay, it's fine. You can
Yeah,
go
my
get a
mom
Go-Gurt
said
then.
that it was cool if I wanted to eat like a whole gallon of yogurt. It was fine, and it'd be okay.
Yeah, but then he would be playing the game, and then he'd hand the controller to his brother. It's his brother's turn, because I was like, y'all need to take turns. Don't
Did they
fight
have-
over it. And like the younger brother, Derek, he'd be playing, and he'd go to the kitchen, and I thought, and like he had a cup. He had like a cup that he was like drinking like water or juice or whatever out of. I thought he just kept going to the kitchen. He left his cup in the kitchen. He was just going there to get a drink. But no, he was going into the kitchen. He was sneaking another Go-Gurt.
Did they have like chips in the house? Like chips, like normal, like
I don't know. I didn't like raid the pantry or anything like that. I just know.
I'm just saying, like, what almost teenager, like, if it were me, like, I would just grab a bag of chips and just eat down that like an animal. But he chose
He liked yogurt.
yogurt.
Yeah, dude. He
Like, that's like not. Do you think he brings it to the movies? Like, if he goes to watch a movie, just bring some yogurt.
God, maybe.
Goes to the counter. Hey, you want some snow caps? No. Do you have any yogurt?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It was. He literally just. He just kept going in there and sneaking another.
The
yogurt.
guy behind the counter is a freak too. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I brought a cooler full. What do you want? Like a couple liters?"
No, that guy still lives next door to my parents.
That's weird, man.
Not the kid who ate all the Go-Gurts, but like
The other one?
because like him and his wife got like a divorce. So
The kid?
it's- huh?
The child? Oh, the
No,
the
the
parents.
dad. The parents got a divorce, so like the mom and the
he
kids
probably
left.
wasn't going to work.
Yeah, supporting the Go-Gurt addiction.
Somebody's paying for all that Go-Gurt.
I know this isn't related, but I didn't realize you were wearing your court shoes again. I think they're so cool.
From your other vacation.
Yeah.
Cool.
This was not from a vacation.
That's from Portugal
Yeah, it
with
was.
your in-laws. You idiot.
Yeah, that was definitely a vacation.
Yeah.
It wasn't a business trip, that's for sure.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so that was a true story about Go-Gurt.
that's good. I like that.
Well,
That's interesting.
You unlocked a memory in me, dude.
Yeah. What, you Go-Gurt?
About Go-Gurts, yeah.
Dude, I thought about it the other day. I'm like,
They
no
say
one's
when you
ever
get
talked
old,
about it.
You remember your childhood, Alzheimer's stuff.
Yeah.
Who's this guy over
So-
here?
He's disconnected.
Who's this
When
guy
I
over
was
here?
in Gatlinburg,
on vacation?
On vacation.
Look how who's got all the
Oh,
money.
yeah.
Look at this
Oh, yeah.
guy.
my father-in-law.
Look at this guy.
Are you looking at pictures of bears?
The only vacation I've ever paid for was my honeymoon.
I've never seen a blue Bible. That thing's so nice.
He got that like
It's my
2 years
Ruckman-
ago.
It's my Ruckman reference Bible.
I've never seen a blue Bible. I don't think I've ever seen a blue Bible. Like
Isn't it
ever.
cool?
They have tons of them, but
Yeah.
the Ruckman reference is a new version of like that was on back order, and my wife finally she kept calling and got
That
it.
is so nice.
It's cool, right?
Wow. Like I like that a lot.
They
I also like Michael Shane's got like a cranberry colored one.
Move that. Yeah, that's probably the Allen Bible.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
those
yeah. He got
Allens
it from
or those the Word of God Bibles. The Lamb of God. What's
What's
called Humble Lamb. Humble Lamb. That's the
Okay.
new one that everyone likes.
Yeah.
It's got like the lion on the inside of the paper.
Do you remember when
Yeah,
we were
Israel's got a really nice one that from church, and I went and
This
found
is
it
a
because I want to
church.
get one.
I've had that one for a long time. This one's a
Dude, what?
Kevin Mann. He's alive. It's
Do you have 5 Bibles just sitting here?
I read my Bible in the morning.
he has
All
got it,
5
all
of them?
5.
Well, when I study, I do like to open this because this is a really good reference Bible. It's called the First Mention Bible. Has every first mention everywhere,
Okay.
and it has it highlighted, Shunammite, and then in the back it gives you a bunch of cross references for that. Like First Kings, let's see that. So
Oh, dude, I'm about to open a can. Do you guys?
So look,
you
look, look,
guys?
look. So it has. This is one of the coolest Bibles.
Okay.
In the back, it has back of each book. It has nuggets in First Kings. It has all kinds of. And this guy is like, his name's Kevin Mann. He's a big numerology guy, but he's alive now. Like
Okay.
he's not like an old. But it's called the First Mention Bible, and it has all the things where it's first Ammon. Like that's the first mention. Really cool. You know, in first mention in the Bible is something. You know, that's like a thing, law of first mention.
Right.
So it has all that.
So
And
I
it has
have.
all these nuggets. So honestly, if you open this and open the Ruckman reference,
Mhm.
and then like this is the Bible, like it doesn't have notes, but I write in this one, and
Yeah.
like that's my everyday Bible. It is nice having 2 open Bibles
Mhm.
in the text that you're reading and being able to see the notes and the cross references from these.
Yeah.
So I'm about to open a can.
Are you talking about the law first mentioned? I feel like that's where you're going.
I 2 cans.
Okay.
2 cans. Cereal. Man, full circle. See how I did that?
That was funny.
So the law of first
I'm
mention
going to space.
is this is like a. You believe like it's like. You believe it's
You
a
hear-
law?
Huh?
Like you guys are 100%.
I want him.
No.
I want him. To,
Principle.
Okay.
Law of first mention?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not doctrine.
That is.
It is it's a principle. What is happening right now?
Sorry.
Is someone like
I did. That was me. I'm sorry.
He got tired from putting the.
Did you hear what I
footrest
said?
up.
It's like his
No.
I said,
Proverbs.
I'm going to space.
It's like the Proverbs. Is it a
Okay.
promise or principle? Like beat your kid with a rod, and he won't depart from it. Well, there's a lot of people who beat their kid with a rod, and the
They're not
kid commits suicide.
Yeah.
They're not beating hard enough.
It's a principle.
That's that. What? Hold on.
No.
Go ahead.
He's got a
So
point.
okay, all right. So I was just because I'm always curious as to when it comes to like the law of first mention and stuff, if people very strongly adhere to that, or if they're more of a context is king kind of a situation.
Is this
Do you
your
understand what I'm saying?
Are you
Yeah.
talking about a specific situation?
Just
Or you run
just like
into
in
it-
general, like a thing, because like there's some people I know that are like the law of first mention, like the Bible mentions something for the first time, and then when you see it anywhere else in the Bible, it means the same thing as the first time it was said. Versus people who go, well, every time you come across something in context, like even though it was mentioned first here, and it meant this in this context, over here in this context, it could mean something else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a hard line rule, but it is there is a
It's like-
pattern.
yeah.
There is a pattern for sure.
I think I lean more towards context is king, but I also acknowledge that majority of the time, something that is mentioned does line up with the first time that it was mentioned.
Yeah. I'm for some reason I'm blanking on some.
I used to have like examples and stuff
Yeah.
that were written down,
Let me
but
see.
and then the other can was numerology. Do you guys subscribe to that?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
100%.
I don't think the Bible gets written and divided in chapters and verses and everything that got done by chance.
Oh,
Like
I
in
don't
the
think
Bible.
I don't think that anything.
I
Was
think it
done
was
chance
by
at all.
total accident.
There's so many things that line up, and then law. Number 6 being
Joseph
the number
Smith.
of man and all that stuff. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, so you got you're 100%. But like, do you take it?
No, it's
to
not
the-
hard. It's not hard. Again, it's not a doctrine.
Right. Well, I'm not. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes,
which
I
is
believe,
why.
I believe God's playing way ahead of us.
Which is why I feel comfortable asking the question on our goofy podcast, because it's not like a hard doctrine that we're going to fight and argue over.
Let's find something to argue about.
Yeah, the gap. No.
Stop.
So do you take it to the degree of like, because there are those people who are like, in the King James Bible, if you go and find the very middle of the Bible, the words are the Lord, numerology. Like, are you?
I like that stuff. That guy's big into that stuff.
If you go to John, the 13th chapter of Genesis, and like you go through like, are you like
What's it? Son of Perditions, 13 letters.
yeah,
Judas, 6 letters. Stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think that's not going to make me whatever, but I think it's like, yeah, that's interesting. I think it's interesting.
David's 5 letters,
it is,
same as pentagram.
which would be the number of death or grace.
Yeah.
I don't. As far as like the law, the first mention rule is easier for me to be like, okay, yeah, all right. Numerology, sometimes I'm like, when you get into those guys who are like, did you know that this is mentioned 372 times in the New Testament? And I go, what does that have to do
Well,
with
there's a lot
anything?
of things that line up, like, 40 in the Bible happens all the time. 40 years, 40. It's like God does work in numbers. Like,
yeah.
there's all kinds of things that
12s is a big one in the Old Testament.
and it's like there's a whole bunch of stuff like that just line up perfectly. And again, if we were talking about numerology, we could have notes here. But off
well,
the
I know
top of
that
the
that God is very specific for sure.
yeah. But when you, I don't.
I
think,
mean the when people take it to like a degree of like almost like conspiracy theory type stuff.
like, is it a coincidence that Psalms 119 is the middle of the Bible and it's about the Word of God? I don't think so. You know what I mean? The Psalms 119 is all about the Word of God, and it's the middle book of the Bible right there. Psalms 119. I think it's like 105, one something. And it's about the Word of God, and I just feel like it's the center. Like, it's, I don't know. I don't think that's a coincidence. And man put it together, but man didn't know. And then all the chapters starts and stops and all the divisions put in there, and man just put it all. I don't think man does that without God leading. And I think God set it up perfectly.
Yeah, I mean,
Chapter headings, chapter verse. I mean,
yeah,
because
like,
it was all just one big
yeah,
run-on
obviously, the
manuscript.
the
And
book
at
of
some point-
Corinthians was just a letter. Like I agree with all the divisions and stuff like that. I'm talking about like the guys who are like, you know what the 13th letter, you know what the 13th word in this verse is? Sin.
I know. I do understand.
Yeah,
I get
that stuff I'm like,
But
okay,
also-
you're reaching.
Also, I just, watch this guy. I can just look like in Kevin Mann's awesome, but this is literally his thing. This is his criticism. Like, this is the guy that you would want to say he takes it too far if you believe that.
that it can be taken too far.
Yeah. I mean, I can probably just look right in here and.
What do you think?
I mean, I'd probably be more in line with, I think, kind of what he's saying. I understand what you're saying as far as people taking it too far, and it's like, the meme of the guy from It's Always Sunny where he's like, with all the stuff behind him. I feel like there's that perspective for sure.
When I'm listening to a preacher, and I can tell he's reaching,
Yeah.
I go,
Right.
all right,
Yeah.
bro, all right. Like it's one of those things. Who is a friend of mine, Jeremy, once said to me, because I was reading something and I went,
Joshua, the lifeline of scarlet thread, 13 letters, a bloodline.
13 letters.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, and like my friend Jeremy, he said to me one time, he was like, because I was reading something, and I went,
Persecuted by the man of sin known as the beast or the Antichrist, 13 letters. The
Antichrist. TAGANTICHR. But what if you just say Antichrist?
Joshua 4:19. The word
Well, then it's okay. He's good.
The word Gilgal, named in 5:9, appears 13 times in the Bible. That's of rebellion.
Dustin with the funniest joke of the
I
episode.
thought that was pretty good.
I said the Antichrist is 13 letters, but what if you just say Antichrist and not the Antichrist? And Dustin goes, then it's okay. No,
It's good.
but it's those guys that like, and like I was saying, like I said one time, I was like, this doesn't read up with like the numerology thing that I've heard my entire life.
Here's a good one.
And it was around the number 3, and my friend Jeremy goes, bro, don't mess up a type. If you mess up a type, dude, the church is coming for you.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Here it is. Ready? Joshua, nuggets in Joshua. Joshua, 6 letters. The 6th book of the Bible. 6 is the number of man.
dude, Nuggets is 7.
Joshua has 24.
Completion.
Look, Joshua has 24.
Denver.
Listen, Joshua has 24. That's 4 times 6 chapters. Joshua is a picture of the second advent. Within 3 days, Joshua 1:18, 666. Here's a verse with an address that is multiple of 6 man. The 6th man word in the verse is rebel, which is number 13. And within 36, that's 6 times 6 words in the verse. This is a bad combo. I like this stuff. Now, I don't get up and preach this stuff because I'm not smart enough to figure this out, but I like reading it and thinking, it's cool. But would Kevin, this is Mr. Numerology. Like we're talking about this.
So I can tell you just read 3 statements, and I
Yeah.
was like, whoo.
This is Mr. Well, just go to Genesis. Like these are the things I couldn't come up with off the top of my head. I was like, I'm not.
So at
prepared
what
for
point?
But there's also some things that'll blow your mind. Like
I didn't think we were going to spend this much time on this.
Yeah.
But at what point do you think that it turns from,
there are just by coincidence 13 famines noted in Scripture.
See?
Oh, really? 13? You say?
you see, he said it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't even.
It is a
Children who are
coincidence. He doesn't
impacted in
believe
there
what he's
just happens to
writing.
be 13 evil famines. Ready? Here we go. The number 5 is the number of death in Scripture. The word famine appears twice in verse 10, 2 times 5 as the 5th word, and the 20th word of the sentence, which multiplies of 5 death. The word famine and famines occurs a total of 99 times, and the word dearth occurs 8 times in the Bible.
Bro,
Sarai this time, this is the numerology.
you know what
Bible.
I'm putting, bro? This guy, he sounds like Gerard.
He's smart.
He sounds like Russell Crowe. And is it Russell Crowe that's in A
And what?
Beautiful Mind?
I'm the one reading this.
Yes.
A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what movie I'm
Wickedness of
talking
man
about?
I think so,
contains
yeah.
18. That's 3 times 6.
The guy that like dropped like.
All right, look. The phrase "the wickedness of man" contains 18. That's 3 times 6 letters. The 6th word of verse 5 is a wickedness. The 13th word is earth. The 26th, that's 2 times 13, word is evil.
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I'm
Guy
naming
goes-
this. I'm naming this episode A Beautiful Mind.
The guy goes deep. Now, I love this guy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's
All right, here we go.
dumb
Nuggets
or
and
anything
Genesis.
like that. I don't want anybody to take anything the wrong way, but I do think
right,
that
ready?
there's a line
Here
where
we go.
something seems coincidental and pretty neat that it lines up
All
to.
right, here we go.
Bro, you trying?
Yeah.
The note, I'm going to read this because this is talking about numerology.
Okay, go.
The notes in this or any other study Bible are not scripture. They are thoughts of the author to help you in the personal study of the Word of God. You do not have to believe what I believe to be a good Christian. If these notes contradict the sound, rightly dividing teaching of Scripture, then always go to the King James Scripture. Ready? It says this. Genesis, number 1, we find God. Number 2, Genesis chapter 2, one divided. All right? 3,
Wouldn't that be
we
one
have
multiplied?
personages, the serpent, Satan. 4, number for earth, which is when the 4 winds, whatever, the earth was made. 5, is the number of death, first mention of being dead. Ready? 6, number of man. He was created on the 6th day. The word man appears, blah, blah. 7, Noah completes the ark, completion. 8 is the number for new beginnings. Boom. 9 is the number for fruitfulness. Genesis 9. That's be fruitful, multiply, repopulate. 10.
New beginnings.
10 is the Gentile kingdom.
Oh.
That's true. 11 is the number for tribulation. Disorder, chaos, Genesis 11, Babel. 12 for the Hebrews. Abraham shows up. This is good. Like, this stuff is good. 12, Abraham shows up. 13, controversy, the number for rebellion. Obviously, sin of all types, sodomy. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. And then it stops there. But there's a lot of, it's a lot of good stuff. I mean, you can't, you do have all these numbers, for, 6 is the letter of man, 5 is the number of death. Mm-hmm. There's everyone knows that stuff. There's enough, even the world knows that. Even the world knows that.
My thought is, though, and again, the only reason that I feel comfortable even thinking or talking about it is because it's not, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Yeah.
So my thought is how much of it do you think is,
nerd's gonna nerd, bro.
Well, for sure. How much of it do you think is, because I think as humans in our brains, people are so good at seeing connections and things that a lot of times are just not there.
Yeah. Well, that's like
a beautiful mind, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, because especially nowadays, there's so many conspiracy theories, and I mean, obviously, I think that we're not to say that there aren't some conspiracy theories that are definitely the truth, because I mean, the government's not batting 1,000. Obviously, there are other things going on, but so many people if you stare at anything long enough, you can connect a line from point A to point B,
for sure,
in any capacity. Because then, now if you're just looking at it and you're trying to come up with something, well, then the imagination's the limit. You can just draw a line from here to here and do whatever. I mean, there's a legitimate conspiracy that people think that all the celebrities in the world are actually lizard people that live in underground in New York.
Which is what the number 27 represents. So that's
no, I get that.
That's pretty much.
I do think there is a lot of solidification in the Word of God with numbers, and if you believe the Bible, you believe there's a perfect Bible. I believe there is.
Now,
if you believe that, you have to take an extreme stance on God setting stuff up, and so it's not hard once you come to that conclusion to get to the conclusion of there's 13 letters in the son of perdition, or Judas is 6 letters, or these things. It's just whatever.
When it comes to first mention, that's a thing that kind of changes the way that you read and look at the Bible and interpret the Bible and stuff like that. And I think that that's a very important thing to actually think about and consider when you're trying to study and understand the Word of God. As far as numerology goes. It's to me, it's one of those things that's kind of it's inconsequential. So I'm just kind of whatever.
No, yeah, I know. Sometimes, even with numerology, I've seen Dr. Ruttman has one thing where it's if you take out the italicized words, this is equals 5 letters, meaning da 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 da, and I'm like, well, why are we taking out the italicized words to get to that conclusion?
Do you know how bored you have to be to count the italicized words in the Bible?
What do you so when you get to that point, you're like, okay, well, whatever. We can make anything mean anything.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
but when something's not, you don't have to go squint and strain and be like, you know what I mean? I feel that's awesome. And then when guys they'll have a whole list of things. Well, this means this. It's great. When you start taking it and going now these guys have studied for so many hours. When you say this divided by this equal, and it's I don't know if you found anything there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can use any combination of anything to get to wherever you want.
When you start doing algebra to understand the Bible.
Yeah, I don't
understand the amount of letters in someone's name.
No doubt.
So you would say more as far as obviously 13th rebellion,
I will read all his notes and I think.
Because I'll say this, I was rebellious long before the age of 13.
Yeah. 13 colonies.
Yeah.
In the United States.
Yeah. So
to be fair, America was born out of rebellion.
Yes, it was.
All right, you know what? Maybe I'm a believer.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, yeah, but that stuff's pretty obvious. Like, I don't think you really have to reach to grab a hold of that.
There's
But as
some
far as,
obvious numerology in the Bible that's like, yeah, that God intended to have that. Some of the stuff when you're dividing and multiplying and dividing and like, yeah, I don't know if it's but if, hey, dude, like, if whatever, great job studying, keep studying. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
for
so
sure.
I think that, and this is probably what
I
you're
don't
trying
think
to say.
you're hurting
is
anything.
that, yeah, so, but I think what you're saying is the distinction between like just doing it because you're nerding out versus like this is the gospel truth.
Thinking
Yeah.
that
If you
this
think
is some
anything else, and you're a
Well,
backslidden.
he says
Yeah.
in
You
his
have to
notes
get a
right
hold of
there, you don't have to believe any of this. To be a
Right,
good
right,
Christian.
right.
And that,
So,
so then that.
but I wouldn't go
that'd be
build
fine.
your church on
Yeah.
like this is it right here.
like I was saying, between the two, obviously the law of first mention, whether you subscribe to that or not, because I know people on both sides of the fence, but I feel like that's obviously that holds a little more weight than something like numerology.
Well, I think also, and this is something that everyone does, is that like, I mean, people just like coming up with their own thing. So sometimes that can
there's people
take
who are just looking for the new.
the new thing to be.
Also,
in
I was saying
whatever.
Judas is 6 and it's 5.
And
I knew it wasn't right. It wasn't right.
But-
also, Jesus is 5 letters, meaning death.
or grace. It means both.
Yes. Judas is man.
You know, for a guy who's not completely sold on numerology, I know a lot of numbers.
Hitler 555. That was the serial number.
Was it really?
Yep.
You making that up?
Nope. I'll check it.
Speaking of 555,
What?
that's a fake telephone number.
Yep. Yeah, because they're not allowed to use it for some reason, right? Isn't there like a?
I don't know what.
behind it?
I don't.
I thought they weren't allowed to use it. I thought that's why it.
That would be.
And that's why they can.
Hitler's cereal.
Maybe.
They have Hitler cereal.
Dude, back to the cereal thing we're talking about. Remember that episode
Can
we
you
did on
dress
cereal,
up as Hitler for Halloween?
and we talked about getting those Mr. T flakes.
555. Hitler's membership
Yes.
number in the German Workers' Party, DAP, which later became the NSDAP, was 555.
Dude, he's the angel of death.
Dude,
The Antichrist. Like, see, to me, that's not a coincidence. The Antichrist number is 666. Hitler,
So we have to go through like 111
Hitler.
more.
555. Like, that's to me, I just can't.
See,
That's crazy.
See, you hear that and you go, "That's crazy." I hear that and I go, "So how do
Like,
you
he's
get
definitely
from
a
one to
type of
other?
the Antichrist.
No, 100%. My thing is his number is 555. The Antichrist is 666, and I go, so do we have to go through like 111 more like Jew killers? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I look at 555 and 666, and I go, so like now to other people, you go 555, dude, that's crazy, that's insane.
Next
Yeah.
up is the Antichrist.
Yeah, but there's 111 numbers between 555
Yeah,
and
so, but
666.
here's the deal.
Do we just
555, whatever, and then they go through all that persecution, and then they become a nation again, which is prophesied. So
okay?
it's like, okay, that's crazy. And then the 666 is the number of the beast.
I'd be more
That
sold
literally
on
says
it.
that's his number. It's like, that's a foreshadowing Hitler of what's happening.
Yeah.
Of what's going to happen.
I would be more sold on the number thing. Like, what I 100% agree. Hitler's a type of the Antichrist. He is definitely a look of what's to come and is on its way, right?
Is here.
Yeah. I would be more convinced on the number thing if you could also tell me who 444 was and who 333 was and who 222 was and who 111 was.
I don't think 444 million murdered 6 million Jews.
Okay, but what I'm saying is I'm not talking about whether or not Hitler existed. I'm talking about the significance of his combat number or whatever it was that you said. What is, like, his number was 555. Okay, my social security number
It's the equivalent of your social security number is what that was.
okay.
It's insane.
All right.
And he happens to be
111.
He killed him. He's responsible for killing 100 million people.
Which means that, okay, yeah. I'm
And his
not,
birth number is 555. Like,
okay,
it's just-
that means a guy whose birth number was 666 has already lived and died.
it was kept by German. Like, it's just different. Someone did have 666, yes.
Yeah.
But
He was German.
You do realize in the tribulation,
So-
people are going to get stamped.
Yes,
And it's going to be 666, and people who don't believe in numerology are going to be like, I don't believe in that.
Dude,
And it's going to be like, it's going to literally damn people.
Yes.
Numbers.
Yep.
So what's so hard here? I understand like so many dividing
yes.
whatever, but why is that hard?
I'm not one. All right, so there's two separate things. What I'm saying is I'm not denying that Hitler existed and did everything that he did. I'm not denying.
There's a lot of people who do.
There are a lot of Holocaust deniers.
Look up Candace Owens right now.
No, we both.
She's
both,
a denier.
She's like denying the Holocaust.
We both know somebody who.
She's just mad at Ben.
Yeah, I know somebody who's a denier, and I go, bro, you're weird.
Who is that?
I'm not saying anything on the podcast.
Spell it.
How many numbers? How many numbers?
How many? I'm not denying that Hitler was a person who did all of those things. Yes, it's very clearly documented. I'm also not denying that the Antichrist in 666 is coming, and it also has its relevance. What I am saying is to me, in my brain, I go, okay, but 5556, so what? So what? Hitler's number was 555. To some people, they're like, what? That's crazy. To me, I go, okay, so then who also was 444 and 323 222 111? Also, who's the guy who did have the number 666? Is his name written down on Wikipedia somewhere? Then I go, if you could put all of that stuff in front of me and you were like, see, boom, 333.
I don't think there's any rhyme or reason. I think it's just a
coincidence.
And also, he's wicked, and this is his serial number, and I think God puts it all together. And it's just, I just.
They have children's Hitler costumes. I've been waiting to share with you.
What I'm saying is his number could have been.
I think it's a foreshadowing. I think it's a prophecy.
Yeah, what I'm saying is his number could have been anything, and if it was anything other than 555, nobody would think about it at all. But if it was something that somebody could twist to fit I hate to use the word narrative.
What if it was 666?
Then it'd be like, well,
you would say this. Oh, that's a type of the Antichrist.
But I already believe that Hitler was a type of Antichrist without knowing his 555. Yeah, what I'm saying, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So it's easy to come to the conclusion. Oh, well, that's weird because that's so very odd that his number was 555. His serial number. Yeah, it's weird. Like 555. Like it's weird. If it was 518, people would be like, it's whatever.
But that's exactly my point.
666 is such a prominent continuation, back-to-back letters, and it's the Antichrist of the guy who's going to destroy Israel. Literally, he's going to bring them to their knees and wipe them out. This guy did it, and his is 5. Okay, well, what's next? 5. Oh, that's kind of weird. 5. Whoa! It's like the similarity is there, and it's like, oh, that's definitely somebody who was in history a type of the Antichrist, and like could
also coincidentally has
a number 555, and the next guy who does this is,
and I mean coincidentally in every sense of the word. What I'm saying is the number could have been anything. If the number was 23,
yeah, absolutely, no,
they would have been like,
Michael
dude,
Jordan,
if you divide 2 by 3, it comes out to 0.666.
LeBron James also saying, I don't know what he said. I'm not testifying against Diddy until I know all the information that comes out. I don't know. I just went there. But
What?
Yeah,
that was well, that was there. That happened.
All right. We're here.
Well, what was Joseph Stalin's number?
I don't know.
Was he the one?
It's 554.
Anyways,
I'm listening.
So we talked a couple weeks ago about bear fighting, and
yeah,
I hope we don't get emails where people are like, David's an idiot because he doesn't believe in numbers.
I hope we do.
I'm gonna come up with a bunch of fake email accounts and just start emailing.
I've never preached a message on numerology. I have pointed out things that were obvious from guys that I've read.
Right.
And said, oh,
I mean, there are things.
I'm not big on that, but. I mean, obviously, yeah. I'm not. But
I tell my customers about it. Like, if I can't fix their air conditioning, I just start telling about it.
Do you know what the number of New Beginnings is? So it's just there are things obviously that I point out as well, like that I've read and I go, oh, that's an interesting like fun fact. I put zero stock into it at all, but there's definitely things where I go, oh, that's a fun little tidbit that this thing is mentioned.
Yeah.
What is it? There was a popular one that preachers used to say all the time where like fear or something is like mentioned 365 times, or sin is mentioned 365 times, but so is grace or something like that. It's mentioned the same amount of times. And it was just like, oh, that's like a fun little,
Yeah.
what, I don't know if anecdote is the right word. It's not.
This is funny. So we were talking about bears earlier. Skipped right over this. We saw bears in Gatlinburg, and we were talking about black bears.
You showed me this.
Yeah, dude, I could totally. These black bears were so lethargic.
Black bears are.
I could beat it up with one hand strapped behind my back.
Yeah.
Look at this.
But not the ants.
Look how little this is.
Bro, you just.
We're on the same team.
Dude, there's billions of ants.
I know.
Billions.
But the fact that you brought it up and now I'm mad at Cameron again.
Look at this. Look at this bear.
That's what I was hoping for.
Look at this bear.
I'd see the bear. I
I
see
could
him.
break its ribs. One kick. There's no way that thing. Even stand up.
Time out.
There's
There's one. You are not breaking a bear's ribs with a kick.
I would break that bear's ribs. Look. Dude, look at it.
Guys, what?
It's got the mange.
Okay.
Give me some food.
So you found a small little bear.
I saw so many of them. They were all
There's
Okay.
a lot in Gatlinburg. I mean,
What
they're
I'm saying
everywhere.
is even though
They just
that thing-
wander down the road.
Fun fact: chimpanzees are small. Could you fight one of those?
No,
this thing was like, ugh. If I walked out and punched it in the head hard, I could have taken it out.
Karen's brain makes no sense to me at all. We're gonna lose to ants.
What if-
fist fight a bear with
Listen,
one arm strapped behind his
could
back,
you-
but also a chimpanzee?
Could
with
you
it?
fight all the bears in the world that can think like a human and are after you to kill you?
Cameron, you would lose a fight to a sea otter at the aquarium.
I probably would. That sounds horrifying.
Have you seen it? So yeah, they're pretty. They have the rocks and the shells. I mean, they'd crack your head open.
I was watching videos of them.
That's an extreme. Yeah.
I was watching.
Absolutely.
I was watching
You know,
videos of
anything-
otters
wait,
sporting
wait,
ice.
penguin-
That's
A penguin in
A
the
puffin.
water.
A puffin.
A puffin in the water and me in the water.
I don't think puffin actually swim. I think they're a weird penguin.
You could take 100 goldfish in the water and they would beat me.
But you could fist fight a bear with one arm strapped behind your back.
That bear, yes. That bear, absolutely. I saw that bear 100 times.
If
Just
that
going around trash cans, looking like it's on like again, drugs. Like,
So what I'm saying is
you would have
you
no
found-
idea, dude, what to do.
You found
They would not fight me.
a bear that is
I saw like 5 or 6 different bears and they were all the same.
man, dude. You know, speaking of numbers, I think I've finished 4 sentences uninterrupted on this podcast in our entirety. Listen to me.
Was that a full sentence? Are you cute? Girl?
5.
What was that?
There it is. 5. Number of death. Podcast is dead. I can't even remember what I was trying to say now.
I have no idea what the thing was.
You found
I-
one bear.
For heaven's sake,
remember
don't let
now.
him finish. Don't let him
I
finish the
found
sentence.
you found a bear.
6.
A bear that
6 bears.
you found. Okay, we're talking about the bear in that video. You found a bear that is very clearly dependent on its interaction around humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the type of bear I'd be fighting.
Even
I'm not gonna go. It's a black bear again.
okay. Even
that
so,
bear is a type of man.
if that
Resort bear.
if that bear was hungry and angry, that bear would tear you up.
First point: if I ran up and hit it in the face, would it be angry?
I don't know.
I think that would probably make it angry.
Yeah.
And
That
then I
felt
would- and then I-
like a trick question, but then it wasn't.
And then I could properly bestow.
That's like a Sunday school. Like whenever anyone asks you a question, like a Sunday school teacher, you just don't answer because no matter what you give, it's going to be wrong. It doesn't matter.
Very true, dude. Sunday school is
Like,
just-
does anyone know the first book of the Bible? Genesis. No.
What's
That's
the
why kids
opposite of
stupid.
What's the opposite of humility? It's like
That's why kids
Not humility.
kids in junior church got trust issues, bro.
No, you idiot. No, you just see it. You see it your whole life. Sunday school teacher asks a question and no one answers, and then someone bravely does, and then it's just wrong. And you're like, oh, that's what I was thinking.
Everybody, let's take 13 seconds and stare at this dumb kid over here.
Yeah, someone said something the other day, and I could not think of it.
Uh,
I think it was Samson.
Yeah.
Love him to death. We're in Sunday school. He was teaching my teen class. And he
numerology.
said something.
Numerology.
What's the opposite of this? And I was like, I have no idea. And none of the kids answered. I'm like, I have no idea what it is. And it wasn't like, it was like, what's the opposite of mercifulness or something like that? And we're like, not judgment or something. You know,
Yeah,
like,
judgment,
whatever,
wrath.
something. But it was like, and then someone answered, and he's like, "You're wrong." And then he takes us to a verse that, and it was good, but it takes us to a verse that mentions the other word that he had mentioned, and then has like, disputing or something, and it's like, oh, disputings. It's like, oh, okay. It was like no one would ever come up with that, but it was like I forget exactly what it was.
Bro, speaking of
But I
youth
was
rally,
like, that was fringe.
Dude.
Like you
But it's like
he has
explicitly,
really-
it's explicitly Sunday school. If it was any other kind of service, then it's not. It's different. It's like you can actually get the answer and it's going to be right, maybe. But Sunday school, it's like no, forget
I
it.
got to get what that was because it was really funny. I'm like that was funny. Like I didn't know what it was.
dude, there were two.
And you had to like know the verse to know what the opposite of this word was.
Yeah.
And I forget
Right.
what it was.
There were two moments that made me laugh pretty hard during your youth rally. I can't remember exactly what the second one was, but I remember laughing really hard about it. The first one was Tyler, when you had Tyler give a testimony while the choir was singing. And Tyler is giving his testimony. He's
Let's
talking,
quiet down. She said we're being loud. So.
Sorry.
and he's giving a testimony, and he's talking about like teens like who don't care, who aren't like, who just like play games and all this other stuff. And Tyler, in his testimony, he says, "Dude, you want to play games? Go back to your church and do it. Don't do it here."
That's what
And I-
Tyler said.
Yeah, and I went,
No.
"We're just not at all." Dude, but he had me, dude. I was laughing.
You said we're not at all.
I said that because he's like giving a testimony. He's like, "Hey, you want to play games, act dumb? Go home and do it at your church. Don't do it here." And I was like, "No, just tell him not to do it." Tyler,
It's one of those. It's one of those spur of the moment, just shooting from the hip kind of.
Yeah, he's getting fired up.
I was talking to him after. He was like, "Dude, I have no idea what I said," and I was like, "Well, all of it was good,
He's like,
except for this one."
I've been fasting. I'm hungry. I'm angry.
Bro, it was so funny.
We should. I almost said something I shouldn't. Sorry.
Oh, and then me and David, is that his name?
You're
Little
David.
David?
You're David.
The other David
The little one.
in your
Little
church.
Little
David
David.
Jones.
Mm-mm.
David Jones.
Yes.
Big David.
Yeah.
Big.
Me and him were laughing because we were watching you do the games for Saturday
Hey,
morning.
you go back to your church with the games.
Okay. And me and him were laughing in the back because obviously we know that you're trying to get a service like rolling. You're trying to get through the games to start up the service and all this other stuff. But you kept doing this thing. You did it like 3 times. You kept doing this thing where you would have all of the information in your head.
All right.
Like, but you were saying it out of order from your mouth.
Yeah.
And me and him were laughing so hard because at the end of the service, at the end of Saturday morning service, you go, "All right." No, this was at the end of Friday night service. You go, "All right, we're gonna dismiss the girls." And then all the girls get up to go eat. And then you go, "But also I have an announcement."
Yes.
And then all the girls are not listening to them because they thought they just got dismissed.
Everyone, hold up.
And then you're like, "And we're going to pray." And I was like, you could have you could have done this in a better order. But like, it was one of those things where
I did
like
not catch that.
he did it like 3 times throughout the
Maybe
weekend.
it's because they just stood up and I was like, "What's happening?"
No,
And-
that's true.
And
It
me
is
and
true.
me and him were like laughing because Brother Samson did it too,
Right.
and he did it because he went just like this. He goes, everybody stand up, and we all stand up, and then he goes, and we like read. He goes, all right. He's like, and you guys can sit down, and like half the congregation sits down. He goes, after we read these verses and pray, so stand back up. And I look at David and I go, dude, what is happening? And dude, he's rolling because like it's one of those things where you have all the information in your brain.
Well, it's the when I know that the getting them dismissed, I just forgot because Dad was behind me. I said, "Yeah, all you girls can stand up." And Dad goes, "Pray over the food." I'm like,
Dude, and it's
and announcements.
listen, I've closed out youth rally
Right.
services as well, and I've been in that position where like I've given announcements. And I'm like, and then I'm standing there, and it's silence, and a crowd of people looking at me, and the only thing in my head is, did I say everything? And it's just like,
Sit down, stand up,
bro, dude, Brother Samson had me laughing.
stand, sit,
Yeah, but it was so funny.
stand, sit, pray.
And then you did the thing.
Stand,
You did the thing
right.
about like because you were talking about the games and Saturday morning game, and you go.
Oh, I know I did that.
You go. All right, I need 10 people. I need 10 people to come up here. Or no, you said I need boys and girls to come up here. And then like crowds come up, and then you go,
All right.
10 on each side.
I'm literally riffing there, dude. I was like, this could be 10 on each side, or because that game wasn't supposed to happen. So that was spur of the moment.
Which game?
The second game, because the girls beat the boys, the charades.
I mean,
Yes.
That was
smashed
so,
the
I was
boys
like
in
trying
sad.
to
That
come
was
up with
so
something
sad.
quick that I could get them, and I'm like, all right. And literally, as I was speaking, the thoughts were coming in my head. So that I know I was backwards on that.
Yeah, and then
And the
then
directions for the cup game, was that at night?
that was
I
the night service. That was Friday night
backwards
service.
on that too, but we got it.
Yeah, but
I
it's
was
just
like, I did not
did.
expect
And then-
200 kids just to be stuffed in here
Mike-
doing this.
Mike Clark had me rolling because he was roasting his teenagers during that charades.
Really?
game. Dude? I mean, just like he was like, one, this is so sad, and then they got one of the boys up there, and he goes, "There's no way the boys lose this one because this is the smartest kid I've ever met in my life." And he turns around, and they're acting out playing ping pong,
pong.
and he goes, "Beating your child,"
That was the first thing he said.
and Mike.
Beating your
Mike goes, "What?" Dude, and it was he had me laughing
My
so hard.
father-in-law said what? Or Michael?
And then who was the kid that
Was
you
it my
said
father-in-law said that?
you had to? No, that was Michael.
Little Mike.
Little Mike.
You were talking to little Mike.
Yeah, I was talking to Little Mike, and then, dude, and then
Your child.
beating your
I
child.
forgot about that. Yeah.
And then we started making jokes, and I was like, "Ooh, that's trauma coming out." And David starts laughing. So David starts going. He's like, "They're doing this," and he's going, "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry." Dude,
Yes.
so-
Yeah, I heard him.
yeah, dude. So we're just making jokes, and then you switch it up, and you're doing you say a letter, they have to say a name,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you said, J, and the kid.
I
What did the
remember this.
kid say? He said,
Yes.
it was either.
Genesis.
No, you said G. Was it you said G and he said a name and it was like James or something like that? You're like G and you went and the kid went James, and everybody in the building is like,
I'm not good in this kind of scenario. Like if he said
I
J,
think
I
I
would have been like
said-
Jesus.
I think I said J, and the guy said Genesis. Or
it was one.
the
It was
word I said was a J.
yeah. It was
Letter I
definitely.
said,
It was
and the guy
definitely
said something. It was like
Galatians or something like that.
I would
It was-
have gotten none of those wrong. He would have said something with H, and I would have been like Galatians.
it's hard. Yeah, that's
bro. Yeah, dude.
I just would have said the
Sat-
first book.
Saturday morning during the games was so funny.
It was so much fun.
Watching those kids,
Dude.
literally scramble.
So our the smaller boys in our youth group wanted me and Kaz to be on their team. So it was like,
for dodgeball. You
yeah,
did good.
for dodgeball, dude. That's what I'm like. everyone else was kind of sad because
Pretty good. You almost won.
Cameron pulled me out of retirement on that Friday night game.
we had 5 boys
Crushed
all.
those kids.
Dude, I smashed a kid in the face so hard. I felt so bad.
Crushed those kids. So Friday night we had adults versus the kids, and there was like literally 40 teenagers and
Yeah.
then adults. Oh, on the other side, like 20 of us.
Yeah, we
And
were outnumbered big time.
We crushed the first game. Second game, we lost by like. They had like 15 people.
They did They ran it back. The kids versus adults.
Yeah, there was 2.
Yeah, one time you played both.
I only played one.
Yeah,
And
so
then I
they
left.
beat us the second time. We had like 10 people left, and they had like 12. But we took out like, I mean, we just
Right.
But
It's like at the beginning of those games, you just throw a ball, you're gonna hit someone.
yeah, we
Yeah.
took out like 30 of their people, and they took out like 15 of ours.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had 5 boys in our team that were like 12 and under, and we whooped everyone. And honestly, I think we had bad calls on our last game.
And then your boy Tyler.
I made a call.
No, it was
Your boy-
the other team had. Sorry, the other team had
She's texting me saying,
9.
"Be quiet."
The other team had 9 kids on their team, and we had 6. So it ended with 1-1, and so we
Well,
got
he-
more of them out than they got us out.
Tyler forced me to play dodgeball. I did not want to
Tyler
play.
Campbell.
Yeah, and he was like,
Sorry,
they were
I
like,
guess you don't really talk to my cousin Tyler, so that wouldn't really be something that
we talked a bit this weekend.
T-Dog wasn't participating. He was tired.
Yeah,
He
Hard.
cooked all day Friday
did.
and all day
And
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I talked to him. A fair bit this weekend, and but Tyler Campbell was like, "Dude, play dodgeball," and I was like, "No," and he was like, "Do it, please, please, please," and I went, "No, I don't want to play," and he was like, "Do it," so he was like, "You're on our team." I already told them I signed this up. I was like, the first game, they said go. I did not move.
Yeah.
I stood there with my arms folded, and I stood in the back in the center of the. I just went. People like kids, and then it got to the point where like I was like, this game has gone so long, like I can't move no matter what now. And I'm talking like a dodgeball. I'm talking whizzed past my head,
but nothing.
and I was just like, no, I'm not moving.
That's the secret to dodgeball. If you just stand there and do nothing, you'll never get hit.
Well, during the adult versus kids game the night before,
So Friday night,
Friday night, I have a move because when I was a young warthog,
you have a move.
I have a move now. When I was a young guy, it used to just be like whip the dodgeballs as fast as you can. At teen camp, I used to do the thing where like I jumped across the line, and like hit a guy in the air, and like did like played crazy dodgeball, whatever. Now I'm an old man. My move is this: the dodgeball game is going on. You get one of the little balls that you can easily
Aren't those
hide.
nice, those small ones?
Yeah. You get one of the little ones that you can easily hide. And what I do is I walk to the sideline and then I just walk to the middle. Like walk to the center line.
But act like you're.
And I'm standing on the sideline. And what I do is, and the only way that you can actually sell this is if there are people who are standing at
on
the center.
sideline, yeah.
So like if TJ's standing there with
Right.
the thing and he's calling people out, I just walk up the side and I stand next to TJ. I'm inside on the playing area. He's outside the line. And you just stand there. And in peripheral, people just go, "Oh, he's out. He's standing on the sideline." But I'm standing in the corner at the half, hiding a dodgeball. And then when a kid gets close enough to the center line, I just go, like from me to camera, I go, "You're out." And they go, "What? You're out?" And I go, "No, I'm not. I've just been standing here for 3 minutes. Nobody's throwing dodgeballs at me." Like if you just walk up there and stand there, they just assume you're out.
Yeah.
And you can literally stand there entire game.
Yeah.
And I just go, huh. And then a dodgeball rolls over and I go, "You're out."
Yeah, but these kids don't know you.
Yeah.
If you walk out on the court and start, and I'm on the other side, I'm like, there's no way you're getting someone who knows you. Like, are you in? Because that's exactly
No, I'd fall for it.
like if I walk out there, all those kids are gonna be like I'm not just gonna be able to stand out there because they're all telling me play.
Well,
Like,
I can't do it. I can't do it at our church now.
I think
Because I've done it so many times.
I would still fall for it.
Those kids all know me. They're gonna be like,
I'd be like,
Mr. Cameron.
I'd be like, oh, I guess David
Being
got out
tricksy.
like immediately.
Yeah. I
That's
can't.
what I would
There's
yeah.
no way. There's no way. Cassie does it all the time. I'm like,
Kaz is a kid.
declare.
That's what he just starts off
Yeah.
doing that.
At our church, I've done it so much that now even if I am out, like a kid will throw a dodgeball at me.
Right.
Like, just gotta make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was funny. And then Cameron gave free shirts to the winner, so I just told the teen boy that I brought to church. I said, "Go pick out a shirt, dude." And he's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, go get it."
I've already got them all.
Because you won, right?
Yeah, not that I could, like I said, I contributed nothing. Absolutely not. The first game I got out because I got hit in the head, and I wasn't even. I was walking away. I was just like walking, and then I was like, "Oh." Second game, stood still completely, did not move. And then in the finals, I threw a dodgeball but missed completely. So I contributed nothing.
Nothing at all.
Our team
In the
went.
finals, you threw a dodgeball.
I threw I threw
Wow.
one dodgeball the entire
There was
tournament.
12 teams.
Yeah. I was like, well.
There was a lot of games.
Yeah,
And then,
a lot of dodgeball.
and then we never lost. We never
Yeah.
lost a single game. And then Cameron goes, "All right, you guys can go pick out t-shirts." So I just looked at Richard and I was like, "Go get a shirt, dude." And he's like, "You're not gonna take it?" I was like, "Nah, it's fine. Go ahead."
That's funny.
Dude, I did.
That is really funny.
I literally rode on the coattails of the
I didn't
team.
know that.
Yeah, I threw one dodgeball like the entire. No.
That's the first
fine.
time Heritage has ever won because that was mostly our guys.
I threw.
Yeah.
and
I
you
threw.
and Ebert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I threw two because there was another one where I kept pretending like I was gonna make the shot, and I threw it up, and when the kid looked to see if I made it, I went, "Yeah."
Such the most
That's funny.
like the
But we had Elijah Miller on our team, and we were in the finals against Solid Rock, and I was like, "Elijah, can I count on you in the finals to go up against your church and beat them?" And he was like, "Are you questioning my loyalty?" And I was like, "Yes."
yeah.
And then I go,
Take this. It's like the equivalent
said-
of take this gun and shoot this prisoner.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
said-
take this ball.
So then I had to sell him on it. I was like, "You know what I need you to do?" He goes, "What?" I go, "I need you to get this win for us, and then I need you to go back with your free T-shirt and wear it, and go, 'I won this because I'm better than you at dodgeball.'"
So funny.
And he was like, "Yeah, I can do that." I was like, "Yes." I was like pitting teenagers against each other. Oh, it was so funny.
That's good. I like that. Anyways, in conclusion, numbers are real. Bears are weak.
Numbers are real. I don't think anything
Numbers are real. Bears are weak.
Bears are weak. Hitler,
existed.
Good role model.
second to the worst.
555.
Yeah.
Oh.
Puffins are
Puffins.
Puffins are gay penguins. No,
you
actually,
know.
puffins are the little people of penguins.
So puffins can't swim, but they can fly. They're like revert. That, you know what the opposite of a
I think
penguin is?
Puffins can fly.
Yes.
They
It's
can.
it's like they're ducks to them. That's why they shoot so many of them.
Oh, why are they related? How are they related to penguins
Alright,
if they're
alright,
the opposite of penguins?
Iceland good, Greenland bad.
Mm.
Dude, don't say that about his homeland.
Yeah.
It's his dream to live in Greenland.
Their knees
Yep.
can't touch either.
Bro, that is weird.
Yeah, but they're fighting like whales and polar bears.
Dude,
you know?
Dustin's
Um,
built different. Wrong.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Wrong.
Let's wrap it up.
He's built wrong.
Dustin, give the gospel, or David, you give the gospel.
Which one of us?
I don't care.
Let's do it together.
Missy, come here, baby.
For
God
so
loved
the
the world.
that
He
gave
his
only
Amplified
begotten
version.
Son
He a
that
good dude.
whosoever
believeth
in
him
should
not
perish
but
have
everlasting
Eternal.
life. All right,
John 3:16. We actually pulled that off.
sort of.
Listen, God sent his son Jesus Christ to come down, live a perfect, sinless life, and he did so on behalf of us because we could not do it. And then he died for our sins, was buried, and then he rose again. And because he did that, we can have eternal life. All you have to do is ask him to come into your heart and save you, acknowledge that you're a sinner and that you can't make it on your own. Jesus already paid the price so that you don't have to. So trust in him to be your savior. If you have any questions, please email in. While you're at it, buy a t-shirt, buy a hat, subscribe, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. get involved. Tell your aunt about your favorite podcast. Calm Down, It's Fine. And then have her subscribe and buy a hat and a t-shirt as well. And then send us a picture on Instagram of you and your aunt wearing our t-shirts and hats. And then tune in next week for the Calm Down, It's Fine podcast.
You forgot something in salvation. You have to believe the gap.
This guy. Hey there, comrades. Thanks for tuning in to the Calm Down, It's Fine podcast. If you liked what you heard this episode, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and share that link. We want to get the episode out. We want as many new listeners as we can, and we want the old listeners to keep coming back. So be sure to like and subscribe. Find us on social media at CDiff Podcast. If you want to donate to the show, you can find the link to do so in the description below. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.